No. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo.
A man was standing in his backyard when something caught his eye, an odd movement deep within the forest behind his home. At first, he dismissed it as a trick of the light, shadows, or tired eyes. But when the motion repeated, slow, deliberate, and unsettling, a creeping sense of unease took hold. Instinctively, he grabbed his phone and began recording, unsure if he was witnessing wildlife, a haunting presence, or something far more sinister.
Hi, it's me again. I'm just calling just to let you know. I've seen that thing again in the backyard. I've got the camera on. I'm trying to capture it. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to see if I can get it. Anyway, give me a call when you get this message. Bye.
No. What is that? No way. No. What the is that? No way. Yeah, it's me. I've just seen that thing. I've actually got it on camera. I'll show you when you get home. Give me a call as soon as you get this message.
Fear quickly pushed him inside, and he sprinted upstairs to a second-floor window for a clearer view. As he zoomed in, his breathing grew heavier, and his voice trembled. What he saw was unlike anything natural. Gliding along the tree line was a figure that wasn't solid but wasn't invisible either. It shimmered like heat distortion, yet moved with unmistakable intent. Its form hinted at a human shape, entirely transparent, trees visible through its body. The outline was impossible to ignore as it slipped silently between the trunks. It didn't behave like an animal, a shadow, or even a camera glitch. Stunned, the man paused before calling someone to report what he was seeing. Meanwhile, the ghostly figure drifted deeper into the forest until it vanished from view. Whatever haunted those woods didn't fear being seen. It was something beyond human understanding, supernatural, unexplainable, and deeply disturbing. Sabia had a home security camera set up inside her house in the Netherlands, aimed at a small table with several candles resting untouched against the far wall. For a long stretch, the footage appeared completely ordinary. Nothing unusual happened. The only oddity was the occasional appearance of faint glowing orbs drifting slowly across the frame, like dust particles catching the light. Subtle enough to dismiss at first glance. Then, without anything approaching it, one candle suddenly ignited. A brief spark flared into a steady flame, as if an invisible hand had struck a match beside the wick. Nothing else in the room moved. No drafts, no shifting shadows, no one visible anywhere nearby. The flame burned calmly, perfectly still, as though intentionally lit. Sabia knew the candle had been cold for hours, yet the rest of the room appeared entirely normal. Still, the sudden light changed the atmosphere, leaving the space feeling disturbed, as if something unseen had briefly entered and left undeniable evidence of paranormal activity. A few nights later, Sabia reviewed another clip from a different room. At first, everything seemed ordinary, furniture in its usual place, the timestamp confirming it was close to midnight. Once again, pale orbs drifted through the frame, floating as they had before. Nothing seemed amiss until the corner of the room subtly shifted. A chair that had been neatly tucked into the corner slid forward on its own, gliding smoothly across the floor without anyone near it. Immediately afterward, clusters of glowing orbs passed through the frame, as if stirred by an unseen presence. Moments later, a painting on the wall began to sway gently from side to side, nudged by an invisible force. The room remained eerily silent. No lights flickered, no shadows appeared, just the chair out of place, and the painting slowly rocking before settling again. Witnessing this near-midnight activity made the sitting room feel less like part of a normal home and more like a space touched by something supernatural. Whether the activity continued remains unknown. This is the last footage Sabia ever shared. Davo has appeared on the channel before, after purchasing a small doll from a street stall for just 20 Mexican pesos, roughly $1 dollar. Not long after bringing it home, unsettling things began to happen. When he tried to return the doll, the stall had completely vanished. Things escalated further when Davo attempted to use a Ouija board, hoping to communicate with whatever presence seemed to be lingering inside his home. Recently, on October 30th, Davo was sitting in his living room late at night with his cousins and nephews when he suddenly heard someone screaming for help. When he later reviewed the security camera footage from inside his house, he noticed something standing outside his window, staring in. At first glance, it looks like a disturbing pale face pressed against the glass. The image is unclear, but the shape is undeniably unsettling. Alarmed, Davo rushes outside to investigate, unaware that he's about to capture something far more terrifying on camera.
Déjenme ver porque es que está muy oscuro. Fíjense la altura que se ve ya desde aquí, ¿no? Entonces, ay, me caigo. Ush, es que está muy oscuro aquí, no se ve muy bien. No se ve muy bien. Esa es la casa de mi hermana. Entonces, si se dan cuenta, voy bajando las escaleras, ¿no? Y se empieza a hacer todo más bajo. más abajo, más abajo. Este caminito que están viendo es más abajo. Es un sendero que es hacia abajo. Entonces, voy a pisar esto. Para los que digan que alguien se puso una escalera, o los que lleguen a decir que es una escalera, vean la altura. No podemos poner escaleras, para que vean. ¿Ok? Yo mido 1,75. Y eso de... O sea, están viendo... Espero que se esté viendo bien, ¿eh? Pero es una altura considerable. Son más de 2,5 metros, ¿no? Entonces, para que no queden dudas de que... Y escaleras nosotros no tenemos, a menos de que digan, alguien se trepó por aquí así. Y no. Porque se asomó justamente de la parte de ahí. En esa parte fue de donde se asomó. Entonces, como que los arbustos y todo eso, pues no hacen mucho mucho el paro, ¿no? Entonces,
A dark shadow suddenly darts past at incredible speed. Moments later, an even more chilling detail appears. A pair of eerie feet can be seen, as if someone or something is standing right beside him. Then, just as quickly, the presence retreats, disappearing from view once again. Davo later explained that the window sits more than 7 feet off the ground. Whatever reached it would have to be unnaturally tall. So what exactly has been following Davo and his family? Let me know what you think about this haunting, and whether this could be genuine paranormal activity. A man named Javier was walking toward the entrance of a hospital in Argentina when he suddenly heard a knock behind him. He turned around immediately, expecting to see someone approaching, but the area was completely empty. That's when he noticed something far more disturbing coming from inside his parked car. A sense of dread washed over him. Javier raised his phone and began recording.
Estamos en este momento en el microhospital, escuchamos un golpe y nos dimos vuelta porque dijimos, bueno, ¿quién está entrando? Cuestión de que no hay nadie atrás nuestro. Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues si el auto... ¿Qué mierda es? Lo peor de todo es que no queremos salir. O sea, no... Un miedo, la puta madre. Lo peor de todo es que se mueve adentro del auto y no hay nadie. O sea, ahora vamos a ir a controlar el auto. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo. La puta madre. No, boludo. Ya, salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. Mamá, la piel de gallina, hermano. Piel de gallina. Cagazo. Nadie. Nadie. Un montón. Es un montón. Mierda. Y encima nos mira la puta que te parió. No, chavo. No. Y desapareció. La concha.
Inside the driver's seat, a pale gray face appeared to be staring straight ahead. It didn't look human. The shape seemed to shift slightly, as if it were moving on its own, while Javier watched in shock. Gathering the courage to investigate, he approached the vehicle and opened the doors. There was no one inside, no one nearby, nothing. Some viewers later suggested it could have been a reflection caused by the angle of the windshield. But a closer look shows only the ceiling above reflected in the glass, nothing that could explain the face seen inside the car. Given the late hour in the hospital setting, many believe this may have been a genuine paranormal encounter. Was it a ghostly presence tied to the location or something else entirely? I'll let you decide. Brandon shared a video recorded by his father, explaining that ever since he experimented with a Ouija board as a teenager, a dark presence has followed him throughout his life. In the footage, his father's breathing is heavy and uneven, filled with unmistakable panic. From somewhere beyond the bedroom walls, slow dragging sounds echo through the house, soft scraping noises, as if something unseen is inching closer. The atmosphere feels thick and oppressive, as though a long, dormant haunting has suddenly resurfaced.
Contexto: mi papá de joven jugó a la Ouija y desde entonces se siente perseguido. No terminó el juego como se debe. Ya antes le habían ocurrido sucesos paranormales, pero nunca había grabado.
¡Ay, cabrón! No manches. ¿Qué era eso? No. Ay, no manches. No.
Nervously whispering to himself, he slips his feet into his slippers and cautiously approaches the bedroom door. When he opens it, the hallway beyond looks disturbingly wrong. The space appears dim and warped, stretched in an unnatural way that immediately sets off alarm bells. As he steps forward and peers into the darkness, he suddenly gasps. For just a split second, a pale face peeks out from around the corner. The camera jolts violently as he rushes toward it, but when he reaches the spot, there's nothing there. Shaken, he turns back, trying to retreat to the bedroom. Before he can cross the threshold, the door slams shut right in front of him. The video cuts off abruptly. Later, Brandon said his father was deeply shaken but physically unharmed, insisting the demonic presence had finally revealed itself. Since that night, he refuses to sleep in that room, claiming the air feels heavier, like something is still waiting on the other side, hoping he'll open that door again. The following video comes from a single mother named Alex who recently moved into a new home. What she didn't know at the time was that the house had a troubling history. It was once the presbytery of the church next door, with a cemetery nearby and a natural water source believed to run beneath the property, details often associated with heightened paranormal activity. The first strange incident happened during the initial viewing of the house. As Alex walked through the rooms, a door suddenly slammed shut behind her. She brushed it off, assuming it was just a strong draft, but that explanation wouldn't hold for long. After moving in around late September 2024, the activity escalated. Alex began hearing unexplained footsteps, strange noises at night, and even seeing shadowy silhouettes moving through the house. One evening, while sitting quietly with her cats, she heard loud banging coming from an empty, pitch-dark room. Her cats reacted instantly, locking their eyes on the doorway.
Une putain de manette pour ce truc là, elle est où la manette? La manette, putain. Ah putain. Pile là-dedans. C'est quoi cette blague? Oh non. Ah bah oui, putain, je suis con. Non mais le petit dort.
The right foot of a large teddy bear can be seen moving up and down on its own. When Alex pulls the curtain back to check behind it, there's no one there. Moments later, after she turns on the light, a strange shadow appears on the wall, one that doesn't seem to belong to anything in the room.
C'est quoi cette putain de blague?
À bientôt pour un nouveau concert.
Super. Ok, cool.
On another night, something can be heard banging loudly on her door. Alex checks her remote control, thinking it may have triggered something, but it doesn't respond, and her son is still asleep in his bed. The following night, with her son fast asleep, Alex hears one of his toys suddenly activate in his room. She rushes in to investigate. The toy can be seen moving on its own, and as she confirms her son is still sleeping, a giraffe toy nearby lifts its leg by itself. Alex believes the activity may be connected to the house's history and location. But whether these events point to a real haunting or something else entirely, I'll leave that for you to decide. A woman living near the area affected by Hurricane Helene decided to walk through the streets in the aftermath, surrounded by widespread destruction.
It smells really bad through here. Like rotting. really bad. Oh shit. Is this for real? Oh, it smells so bad. But I'm gonna go up here. Ugh. You guys, I had to walk away. It's really stinky.
As she moved through the debris, she suddenly noticed a powerful, foul stench rising from the wreckage nearby. She came across a small memorial, flowers laid beside a wooden cross, but moments later she heard what sounded like a man's voice coming from within the rubble. The smell grew overwhelming, forcing her to leave the area quickly. Authorities in Asheville later reported numerous fatalities caused by the hurricane's devastation. This raised a chilling question. Had she unknowingly stumbled upon someone desperately calling for help, unaware that he had already lost his life to the disaster?